Would someone mind telling me how the West treats women better than Islam? We're in a crisis. Like, look at the dating world among heterosexual people. Like, no one bloody knows what the fuck they're doing. We're all full of complex trauma and attachment issues without any direction of God or faith.
Ini adalah Lady Jan. Ia berasal dari keluarga ateis yang tidak percaya adanya Tuhan. Jan menjalani kehidupan yang begitu bebas, tidak ada arah dan tidak ada aturan apapun. Namun dibalik kebebasan tanpa aturan, tidaklah sebaik yang dia kira. Jan mengalami kehidupan yang buruk. Ia mengalami insomnia ekstrim selama 10 tahun, yang disebabkan oleh obat-obatan dan alkohol. Pada tahun 2017, Jan mengalami overdosis dan dirawat di rumah sakit. Disinilah awal mula Jan menemukan Islam dan tanda-tanda adanya Tuhan. Saat sadar dari overdosis, Jan mulai menerima banyak tanda-tanda adanya Tuhan, dan kemudian ia mencoba berdoa kepada Tuhan.
People ask me how I found Islam, so I'm going to put it simple. I found God in 2018 after taking an overdose at the end of 2017, after more or less a 10-year period of extreme insomnia, mental illness, parties, life of chaos, generally being in self-destruct mode. After taking the overdose and I woke up in hospital, I woke up. And from that point I started receiving loads of signs. Like, the Quran talks about signs all the time. At that point, I didn't know about the Quran or anything, but I just followed the signs and then I started praying to God. When I started praying to God, the signs increased and I started to get involved in New Age spirituality because I had like numbers talking to me and like everything was so aligned. It was just like I couldn't deny any of these signs. Like, it was insane. And I did enter some type of spiritual psychosis at some point because who wouldn't? It's like, who's talking to me? Like, what's going on? And I came from an atheist family and background, so it's like, you know, it was weird for me. So
Jan terus mencari Tuhan karena ia merasakan keyakinan yang semakin kuat kepada Tuhan. Jan memutuskan masuk agama Hindu, dan ia mempelajari semua ajaran Hindu selama 2 tahun.
So things just started to align, and I just started to feel this real deep connection with God. And then I got into Hinduism like years later, but something didn't feel right. I started to like feel that I needed to streamline my spirituality, and I started to like pray. I literally was praying for a stronger connection to God. I knew something was wrong in Hinduism. So this was about, say, 4 months ago when I started to literally pray that. Like, I want and I need a stronger connection to God. I need to streamline something. Something's not right. Like, please give me the signs. And then about 3 months ago, I had an organic urge to read the Quran. Like, I've had it in my bookshelf for ages, but I couldn't read it. I tried to read it once and it just wasn't flowing. So I just followed this urge. I just kept waking up with the urge to read the Quran. SubhanAllah, like, it was Allah all along. Because then basically I started to read the Quran and then started to feel like maybe Islam is real, maybe Allah is real, right? So I started to then pray, if this is Allah, if Islam is real, then show me, like, is it really, is Allah who or what I've been praying to for this whole time? Have you been the one guiding me for this whole time? I was moved out of dark spaces.
Pada suatu titik, Jan merasa ada sesuatu yang kurang dalam agama Hindu dan tidak sesuai dengan yang dia harapkan. Dan akhirnya Jan mulai membaca Al-Quran. Jan yang telah mempelajari Al-Quran mulai paham tentang agama Islam, khususnya cara Islam memperlakukan wanita. Jan juga menyangkal pandangan Barat bahwa Islam memperlakukan wanita dengan buruk, kekerasan, dan sebagainya. Dalam Islam jelas ada aturan untuk menghormati wanita dan juga cara pembagian warisan dalam pernikahan.
Would someone mind telling me how the West treats women better than Islam? How atheist men and atheist culture treats women liberated and free and well? Can someone please explain that to me and how? Because as far as I see it, we've been sold a lie. Our families have been brought up in the most spiritually impoverished way. And what I mean by that is we never had any guidance. We didn't have any direction. We didn't have a God. How is that gonna like play out? Because we have mind health, we have physical health, and we also have spiritual health. I know I'm derailing a little bit, but without any direction, without any rules, we're seeing the consequences of that now. Let me try and explain what I mean. I think in the West, men and women are the most fucked up, and not only is it misogynistic as a culture, it's also misandrist, because Look at the state of our men and look at the state of our women, basically. Not only have we not known our role as a woman or a man in the family unit or whatever unit, but the roles are mixed up and confused. For example, it's seen as liberation to have a woman working the same as a man, yet we go through the pregnancy, the birth, and the rearing of the children too while maintaining the house. How is that liberation? And how is that freedom for women? And how is it sexually liberating to sleep around when we get spiritual disease from all the men that we sleep with outside of it being sacred? What I mean by that is like having commitment and treating each other as sacred and, you know, honouring each other and knowing that we're both mind, body and spirit and we deserve respect. There are clear rules of respect in Islam if you don't know about it. Like a man, one of the main rules for the man in the marriage is to truly respect and honour the woman. Western atheist men have not treated women well and they never have. Like, think about it. We're in a crisis. Like, look at the dating world among heterosexual people. Like, no one bloody knows what the fuck they're doing. We're all full of complex trauma and attachment issues without any direction of God or faith or...
Setelah mempelajari Al-Quran, Jan percaya bahwa Al-Quran tidak ditulis oleh manusia, melainkan sebuah wahyu yang diturunkan kepada Nabi Muhammad melalui malaikat Jibril, dan ia juga percaya bahwa Al-Quran merupakan wahyu terakhir dari Allah. Al-Quran bukanlah sekadar kumpulan kata-kata, tetapi sebuah panduan ilahi yang mengarahkan umat manusia menuju kebaikan, keadilan, dan kedamaian. Di dalamnya terdapat hikmah-hikmah yang mendalam, yang memberikan arahan bagi kehidupan sehari-hari, keputusan-keputusan yang bijaksana, serta solusi atas segala permasalahan yang dihadapi oleh manusia. Selain itu, Al-Quran juga menjadi sumber penawar bagi jiwa yang terluka dan hati yang terpatah. Dalam kehidupan yang penuh dengan ujian dan cobaan, banyak orang mencari penghiburan dan penyembuhan dari kesedihan, kegelisahan, dan kekecewaan. Al-Quran hadir sebagai penawar yang menyembuhkan, melalui ayat-ayat yang penuh dengan cinta, harapan, dan pengampunan.
Here are some things you probably didn't know about Islam. 1. It isn't actually a religion, it's a way of life, and the Quran is more or less like a medicine, mind-body mantra/manual on how to live your life in the natural order of things to make you healthier. 2. Allah means God. It literally translates as the God, the only source creator. It's the same God that Christians and Jewish people believe in. Just one source creator, the God. 3. The book, the Quran, isn't just a book and isn't just a text, and it was not written and constructed by men. It is the recitation, something that is meant to be heard. It's more or less, from front to back, a mantra from God via Angel Gabriel that was heard and channeled by a beloved man of the time called Prophet Muhammad. Yes, it does have clear instructions, but it also advocates for deep understanding and reflection of each verse. It says that in it, which will enlighten an individual and heal them. And it's my belief that it was given in Arabic because when sung, it's supposed to be sung or at least spoken in a melodic and rhythmic way, it's at 432 hertz, the healing frequency of mind, body and spirit. You go figure. 4. Muslim literally means someone who submits to God, submits to the divine order that God has created. Therefore, Jesus was Muslim. I was always Muslim. This is why you say you revert to Islam, not convert, because when you're born, you have a natural, what's called fitra, which means you are born with the innate understanding, the natural understanding that there is God, there is a God. 5. The Quran is the final revelation. And Muslims do too believe in the Torah and the Injil, the Bible, because they're all talking about the same God. But the Quran is the final testament or final revelation. 6. Allah, God, is not a male or female and is not human at all or human-like, and you shouldn't be actually describing God as human at all. In the Arabic language, my understanding is that they don't have a gender-neutral pronoun, but instead they use the female pronoun to mark gender at all. Therefore, using the he pronoun can mark something either as male or male quality or genderless.
But it has, of course, been lost in translation with this he, him, and obviously as humans and within a patriarchal society, we start to imagine it as a man, which is probably why a lot of people are put off by religion in general, because it's so patriarchal. But really, if you can decondition your mind and come to a deeper understanding, you will see and be able to read it as it's not a man at all.
Semoga Allah melindungi Lady Jan dari keburukan dan teruslah menyampaikan pesan-pesan Islam.